your time. We're going to try to keep this to at an hour. So if all of you don't mind, I'm just going to kind of bring us together.
You can whistle.
I don't need to whistle. So I think we're, first thing I want to make sure is that we all know where we are in the process. So from as far back as we started, the high school has been determined to be our primary facility need. So following the last meeting, we kind of started to stray, and I'm trying to bring us all back to make sure where we ended, we start today. So in the fact that the high school is our highest priority need, it is also the facility where we have to determine allocation of funds. Because without that, we can't go any further. Specifically, here are the things that this group has said we need. A contiguous campus for safety and security. We need to replace the cafeteria, the administrative offices, the counseling offices, the C building, which then includes the library, the H building and the portables behind it, the ABS building, and then in addition to that, at some point, the band hall and choir hall were identified as other needs. So we first started talking about our budget. To remedy these needs, calling for a bond is necessary because the needs far exceed our maintenance and operations budget. We can't do it out of M&O. We then determined if a bond is needed, here were the things you prioritized. Not raising the tax rate. That was the highest priority. Touching all of the district was seen as a precursor to having a successful bond. Under our current circumstances, a bond set at the current tax rate, in other words, we're not raising taxes, could raise approximately $81 million in new debt and pay off our previous debt. We then looked at a brand new high school. Conservatively, to replace the facility and not include the gym or the auditorium, we're probably looking at a cost of about $120 million, which far exceeded our bonding capacity. So, we then determined that an entire brand new school was beyond the scope of a bond. So then we turned around to determine the renovation costs and the new construction costs as the first step, and that is where we are today. So we have three options up here that you asked us to bring, and at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Nico to talk to you about those three different options.
Good to see you guys again. We're back. This is our agenda for today. As Bob mentioned, we're going to talk about the options. We're going to talk about kind of the overall scope at the high school, so we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to read this, but y'all know why you're here. And at the end of the day, we're trying to produce a long-range facility plan and a recommendation to the board to call a bond and what would be included in that bond. Today, high school options and budget. This is where we've been, where we're going. And so as Mr. Callahan mentioned, when we start to identify improvements on a campus for new construction, we have to look at a program, a space program. And so what that is essentially a database of all the programs, the quantities of each type of space, the unit square footage and the total square footage. And so we've gone back and forth and back and forth. Mr. Callahan's reviewed this with his staff and administration and essentially determined that it's going to take about 74,000 square feet of new construction to end up where we're at with the replacements of what's on the docket.
We've looked at it internally with our staff too, so we've
Yeah.
kind of been going back and forth with Bob.
So our first iteration, you guys probably saw this earlier, was a little bit more broad, and we started to get more granular that, the admin block is going to be made up of this office, this office, this office, conference room, workroom, so on and so forth. Same thing with the band hall and with the dance studio or whatever. So every space has been identified within the new construction.
Before you go on, just to clarify, I know one of the buildings that's being renovated is the A building, and I know right now it has classrooms in it. Those classrooms are about 750 square feet,
725.
725 square feet. So they can hold about 20 students per classroom. If you think back to the COVID times, the space around a child that you need to have there, the desk that they have, 1.5 feet on this side, 1.5 feet on the other side, and then the same thing for the next person. So they have to have approximately 36 square feet of space around them, or it's tight. So with 725 square feet, you divide 720 by 36, and the last time I did that, you get 20. So you can basically, supposedly only have 20 kids in a class. Just talked to Ms. Eder, and she was talking about the renovations in our science building, and now they're a little short of what TEA would recommend today. So even in this facility, our classrooms are a little small. This facility doesn't hold itself open to renovating and tearing out walls like the A building could potentially. The other issue is to build new construction of CTE classrooms is about 20% more expensive than building regular classrooms. So that's probably part of what he's going to try to share with you today about why renovate A and build new for other programs.
That's right. So we're going to go over 3 different options for the high school. They're all going to be 74,000 square feet of footprint. The adjacencies and proximities have been studied based on feedback from the last exercise that we had. Internally, we've talked about it, where things should go, what makes the most sense, site circulation, serviceability of the buildings, constructability, so on and so forth. So we've got an option for a new front door, new entrance on the west side, one on the east side, and one on the south side. And we're going to talk about pros and cons. So first and foremost, this is going to be our western option. And so again, I want to remind everybody that the footprint that you're seeing in the solid red, that's going to be the 74,000 square foot footprint for a new addition. And we're not married to this shape, we're not married to this configuration, this is just something to consider. So you'd have your entry and your admin space on the west side between the A building and the competition gym. That would be open up to the parking, and then it would come into SPED, dance and band would be next to the gym and the auditorium. Same with choir, so your fine arts buildings are going to be kind of on the south side. Your kitchen cafeteria would be on the east, which would give us really good access to service and deliveries and receivables and things like that for your kitchen equipment. Same with culinary. And then your library and your classrooms are going to be more centrally located and would share kind of the service conduit or pathway for circulation between the science building and the potentially renovated CTE building. And so we've got it a little bit larger here for you guys to see. We'll give you about 30 seconds to look at this and kind of study through it.
Where would the shop be going that is being demoed?
So
Is that part of?
let me,
Wood shop?
Yeah, what's currently wood shop, it's marked for demo, where would that end up?
so right now, the wood shop and band hall are here. What we would propose is that the wood shop be moved over to the AVS building. And so the northern half and the southern half of the eastern portion to remain would be your new metal and wood shop. And then the western portion where the auto tech is would stay there and be renovated as well. So those, you'd essentially be getting 2 new shops, new ventilation, new electrical service, all those kinds of things.
Are you reducing the footprint of those 2 existing, or 3 existing? Yes. You would have to be reducing the footprint of 3 shops, putting in 4. Because right now you have auto tech,
Yes.
ag, or middle shop.
It's on both sides, that north and south side, I guess you call it. And then you would be moving the wood shop into there.
Well, they would be reconfigured and designed more appropriately than they are now. So right now, there's some inefficiencies with going across the corridors. Yeah, I know you've had some electrical service upgrades in those spaces, but they're very much not designed the way that you guys should be operating or could be operating. You're kind of dealing with what you've been dealt.
But even the square footage of the wood shop to fit in on that half of the shop would be reduced.
Well, and I will say this too, that,
When we get to the renovated part
Yeah.
of the A building, we can show kind of where the ag classroom is.
so as far as wood shops go, y'all have a huge one. It's bigger than most districts anywhere. And I'm not saying that y'all are spoiled, but you've got a huge space. And so if you took out what is the auto tech shop out of here and what was left over to remain, you're probably talking about 12 or 13,000 square feet. And if you divide that by 2 and you've got half for metal, half for wood shop, that's more than enough space for a program this size with an enrollment this size.
So you're taking out auto tech out of that existing west wing.
It would stay there.
It stays there.
So large projects that we do build, trailers, stuff of that nature.
We're not gonna have a footprint.
I'm not sure I understand.
He's saying 6,000 square feet, so he basically split it 12, 13,000 square feet, so these are like 6,000 square feet.
Some of
I
it
know
may
other
become more
districts may
clear
not
when
have
we
it,
get-
but they're jealous of us because it happens, because it limits them on what they're able to do in those shops, because they don't have the footprint to do it. And while the wood shop may be bigger square footage wise than a lot of other schools, it's still packed and they're limited on space at times.
Well, we did a similar project in a neighboring district. I won't mention who it was. They were happy with the way it turned out. Where we actually flipped their metal shop and their wood shop, and we purged everything out of it. And like most ag teachers, they collect projects over time and scrap material. My garage, I'm guilty of it myself. But having a renovation was an opportunity to purge a lot of unused items and old equipment that people were just hanging on to. And once you get rid of that stuff and you have an opportunity to purge, you realize you don't need all that space. I'm not,
Yeah, and I think maybe as we go through, because we're going to get to showing where the ag classrooms will be going as well, I think that may help answer some questions as we go further into the presentation.
and so we've also talked about there being, once the eastern portion of the AVS building is offline, then there would be a lean-to on that east side that could potentially be an outside space for projects, for outdoor welding, for material storage, so you're not having to store that stuff inside your classroom either, or your labs. So, but we'll get further into that. This would be kind of a 3D representation of what that could look like. And so the pros and cons, they're,
Kind of orient to the
yeah, so
north.
this is Norris here. North would be by the Texas flag, and Avenue F is here. So you've got the western portion of AVS Science Wing, which we're in right here, practice gym. So majority of everything would be consolidated to the center of the campus with your new entry into the parking lot.
So the new face of the building would present to the parking lot, and it would, what you would envision, I know you're not this far along probably, but we would reface the existing academic building, build the new entry, and expand that to the competition gym, and get a facelift for the new face of the school.
Perhaps.
Yes, I think you want to do that with your entry, yes.
Like make it look like one building.
Yeah, make it look like one building.
Yeah.
I think that's what,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we're
not
trying to
three
accomplish
buildings.
with it, correct.
Yeah, I think that's what you're saying, not 3 buildings, you want this to look like it was one building.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we didn't touch the other ones, it kind of looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the major pro of this one, the canopy system that runs north-south off of the cafeteria and the central plant down here That canopy system acts as the conduit for your hot and cold water, your gas, and your electrical systems that feed the science wing, the AVS building, the H building, and practice gym. It does take a dive over to the west as you go through the science wing and then back feeds to the band hall. These are somewhat independent of all this, but the major pro of this layout, this option, is that we don't really have to get into that. And that is a major pro. The cons are constructability. We would be doing a lot of construction next to academic spaces. We're going to be covering up some windows in the academic buildings. You know, it's going to disrupt everything on an academic campus. And I mean, if you're going to make an omelet, you've got to crack some eggs, get it. But there's some safety and security concerns with this option, but we just wanted to give you a brief overview.
So as far as like where we have the fence now and all that stuff, I see that like as far as closing in the campus, like what we're sort of doing with the fence, the gap between the cafeteria and practice gym and science and EVS, how do we close that in? I mean, all the rest of it would all be one building, but how do those all tie together?
So one of the things we've talked about is on the outboard side of the existing canopies to remain, we would build a solid wall or a translucent panel wall. You know, it could be a combination of windows and brick or stucco or whatever. And so it would essentially be a solid wall on the public side. The interior side could still be what it is, and it would be open air. But at least it would give you that visual of this is a full wall, not open between columns. And so that would be the case just about everywhere. Your buildings everywhere else, maybe not there, but you know, these are going to be your natural barrier, the buildings themselves. And that's going to be consistent on the other options as well.
You said disrupt, but y'all have built more disruptive campuses inside of schools.
We have.
Absolutely. One of the benefits to this is it's kind of compact in the area where it is, and you can kind of see that's why we were choosing some two-story construction to limit that footprint so that we try to minimize the impact on your operations and your students.
And so, you know, your students may not like it either. They're going to have longer walks. You know, they can't walk through an active construction site. There's going to be temporary fencing and things like that. But,
What
you know,
is the estimated, like, groundbreaking to completion? Like, when would you?
we're not there yet.
Okay. I mean, just on a typical project of this nature.
I would say
15 months?
Yeah, I'd say 16 to 18 maybe for this, just
Weather dependent.
weather dependent, right? If we have like.
It never
a shower
rains here.
this afternoon, they give it a shave, but- And I think as we go through, you'll see, we'll go through a couple other options. I think you'll kind of see similarities in approach a little bit, but also a different entry.
All right, so we're going to move on to option 2. We're going to have a time to kind of debrief and talk about all these different options. So this is going to be your eastern entry option. You're going to have a new front door over here on the east side of campus. You're going to have SPED, band and choir, library, two-story classroom addition between the A building and the science wing, culinary in the middle, kitchen, cafeteria over here. Would still provide you with nice service access from the kitchen, for the kitchen and cafeteria along the south. And so we're going to talk, this is a 3D version of what you just saw in plan. And we've got a nice new potential front drive, new front door. It's really going to showcase that new construction from 2 different directions, but it's going to cause us to reroute those utilities.
That canopy that runs kind of north, you might just point where the yellow line,
Yeah.
where the yellow arrows are.
So you can see that new building block goes right in between where the yellow line was solid before.
What is the red dotted line?
If you're going to have to reroute it, would that bring into play completely moving all of the utilities?
No, not necessarily. And when we say, well, there's a potential for rerouting, there's also, we can accommodate that during construction too. it's not the easiest thing in the world, and we don't do it, it's the contractors that do
It
it.
does, I know that we discussed before that that was a major, cost constraint, if we have to reroute the campus. So-
But it's not insurmountable. It's not, we're not talking about $5 million that, could be sacrificed for academic
We
spaces.
have a utility allowance in the budget to deal with things like this as well.
Yeah.
So when we get to the slide later on the cost summary, we've accounted for that. You might just point out, Nico, where the chiller yard and everything is. So that area right there goes and then feeds down, and the utilities feed from that north and south up in the canopy.
Yeah, so it comes out of the chiller yard right here. It goes across the cafeteria roof, and you can kind of see it there on the aerial. And then it gets into the canopy there and goes all the way up here, and then it turns into the science wing, and it continues on to the band hall, and it continues even further north into the AVS building, all the way down.
We had a question over here about what the red line is.
So the red line is just potential circulation. So you would come in,
Student circulation.
go between the band and the choir, over here to the auditorium, get to the kitchen cafeteria, 2-story classrooms, and how you would connect to that science building.
So you can see that, yes, ma'am. Right, they wouldn't have to move it that far, but we would have to move it.
There's nothing really there.
Right, we would have to, it's a matter of moving what we call the hydronic piping.
Yeah, and we've done it before. We actually talked to Mr. Callahan about that, and I had to remind Alan. It was a bit of a headache, but we did a much larger project where we had an existing building on one side of campus, existing building on another side, with another building in between them. And they wanted to replace the building in between them, but it was the major thoroughfare where the gas, the utilities, everything went through. And we said, well, we don't really have it in the budget to reroute all this stuff, so what are we gonna do? And the construction manager that was hired to do the job said, well, we can just tear down the building, shore that up temporarily, build everything around it, and it just stays in place. And it's just hanging out during construction. I mean, it creates some challenges for the contractor, but, in this scenario here, we're not talking about a huge distance. So,
One of the things I like about this option when you're coming in, like when I came in today, I came down Avenue F from Con and then turned left and then came back down here. First thing I saw was the backside of the cafeteria. In this case, you wouldn't see that anymore, so you could see a different side. And you can see the long driveway, that's another option there. Kitchen access is there from north in this particular case, so all the deliveries and so forth would be over there on the south side.
Does this account for different locations for buses and parents drop off, or is they all going to the same spot?
this particular one does. It would essentially be east side of the campus, along Avenue F would be the parent drop-off, and then the buses would be on the west side.
Right now, buses are, because you have the parents,
Parking lot?
Yes.
right now, y'all drop off on the east side with the buses.
Or it could be vice
So
versa.
both the last one and this one both anticipate new parking, on the North Street.
Yes.
around the auditorium.
Yeah, where the,
Yes,
So all the teacher parking would probably migrate somewhere
Correct.
else,
so
rather
it
than
would
having
be
to park in
along,
the student.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I want everybody to realize that if you're looking at that picture and you see the white building, which is the present wood shop, and then the building next to it, and then the east side of the AVS building and the H building, those aren't there anymore. That also is potential parking. So we haven't gotten into all where we would call the parking. Where do you want kids to enter? Those are all options. Do you want teachers to park inside of that gated area out there so kids can't have access to their cars? Do you separate? There's lots of space open, as you can see.
yeah, we only modeled the existing buildings to remain and the new construction. Anything that's not modeled and shown in 3 dimensions will no longer be there,
But it
potentially.
does give you a lot more options for parking all the way around the site, and including, I think what James was mentioning, you got more parking at the auditorium, which is truly nice, right? So, and I think you were asking about, because when I turned on Pecan and coming down, it was hard to see with all the vehicles on both sides. So if you could take some of that parking and put it,
Right.
yeah, I'll take it off of that. Nico, let's go on maybe.
Well, you didn't do the pros and cons, I don't think.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Oh.
Sorry, but
Yeah, so.
Okay, so the pros are going to be, you're going to have a nice new front door. It's going to be visible on Avenue F. It really showcases the new construction. The cons are, we're going to have to potentially reroute the utilities, which may not be a bad idea anyway. You know, looking at you. You may want to do that. You know, we may incorporate that as part of this work anyway. And then the other con is that the existing library, which is right here, would have to come offline early during construction to build the new. Whereas in the previous option, everything, for the most part, minus the kitchen cafeteria, stays. You know, everything stays where it is. You can build everything and then tear down after.
One question at the top.
Is all three 16 to 18 months, no matter which one you pick, is they're all?
I would actually say it's probably between 18 and 24 months. And the contractors that I've spoken to about these projects, they kind of agree. So I would rather anticipate at least an 18-month build than hedge your bets on a 15-month build and everybody get upset when you don't deliver. Yeah.
One of the things as we go through and narrow down the option tonight, that'll be another thing for us to do is to work out all the individual phases.
So this would be the third option, which would be a southern entry. Your new front door, or I guess your current front door is along Norris Street, but this would be a formal entry with kind of a turnaround. There could be a marquee sign, digital marquee, or dedication area, monument sign with flagpoles or whatever. You come in, enter the admin building the same way, sped, two-story classroom library, so you still got that kind of north-south connection between the existing A building and the science wing, and then you've got dance and choir over here by the practice gym, which is where they traditionally practice anyway, and then you've got your kitchen, cafeteria, and culinary along Avenue F. Again, that's going to give you a nice service entrance for your kitchen, cafeteria. So
In this case, you can still keep your buses on the east side if you wanted to do that.
So this is going to be a little bit bigger. And that's what it could potentially look like in 3D. So the pros and cons of this one, like we said, you're going to have a new front door off of Norris, a little bit more pronounced. You've got really great service accessibility for the kitchen, cafeteria. The cons are the same thing. You're going to have to reroute that main utility line, and the same con of the library is going to have to come off early. But this does offer additional parking where the AVS building was, the H building, the band hall, the wood shop, and the cafeteria.
And as you're talking through all three options, we've got we've got a utility allowance. No matter whether you're doing more utilities on the east side or more site work on the west side, a west-facing entry, we have to do some work out on the west side in the parking lot, just like we were talking about, because we want it to seem like one entrance. Over on the other two options, we've got to do a little more utility work, so.
All right. So, does anybody want to talk about these as a big group? Or do we want to split up into small groups and talk about it? Do we just want to have everybody feel good about your opinions so far?
Well, I was going to say, like any high school that wants to give like their opinion, because I'm an elementary teacher.
And keep in mind, I want to reiterate, we haven't thought, I mean, we put a lot of thought into these, but these aren't all full, we didn't have time to fully develop each one of these options. So,
Door by door.
yeah, this is a fundamental discussion.
And you're going to see here in a minute, after we get through the new construction, we'll talk a little bit about the renovation and what we propose in the A building. So that's kind of the next stage. We wanted to stop and talk about those options for new construction.
Do all these have a similar price tag?
Yes, yes. Yeah, and we have a cost summary slide at the end that'll wrap up all basically in three major categories. So think you had questions, sir.
Okay, what's the current high school population and how much growth is built into this plan?
Yeah, so we got about 125 to 150, we'll have room for 125 to 150 more students, and that's what, kind of the directive as we went through, and that was one of the things that came out of our meeting last time, that I think was.
So the current enrollment is at 1,061?
Current enrollment is 1,007. And we have enough room for about 150 more. Those would be classrooms that are available right now that are not being used, and those are classrooms right now that will also then take into consideration 950 square feet per classroom divided by 36 gives you even greater capacity in each and every classroom. And then most of the CT classrooms are around 12 to 1,500 square feet, where they're not anywhere close to that now. So those classrooms actually have more space per student for more lab work type things.
And we'll get into that.
I think you'll be excited when you see how it lays out. In a building, it laid out
So-
really nicely, so.
Let's go back to the wood shop, metal shop. Are there classrooms within those, or will we be moving classroom and then hike into the lab?
My recommendation at this point is, we're getting a little bit too into the weeds, but once the AVS building comes down, we would construct, probably in a metal building that attaches to the present labs, classrooms that would include restrooms, the proper electrical, and classrooms that would then attach to both the metal fab and the construction, and then do something about the classroom that is presently being used in the auto tech area, because it is woefully inadequate.
So basically there's an expansion joint, basically where we're showing, you guys know
Right
this
here.
already, but there's an expansion joint here, so basically when you hit that hallway, there's a mechanical room, that's what we're talking about taking off, because this area is not air conditioned. So we would be building something on the end, I don't know if y'all can all see me, on the end here, because we do need restrooms and so forth, just like Mr. Callahan mentioned. So we can handle classrooms.
The answer was no.
Not the shop area attached.
Whoa, the answer is,
The answer is,
Not in this bid. It's future down the road as well.
no, we would try to get it,
it would be part of this.
Yeah. we
it
got
would
that.
be.
So-
It would be part of it.
The
would
shops
be
would
part
be,
of this.
the shops would be renovated, and outside of this building,
Okay, I just make.
there would be a classroom wing with,
That's the issue now.
yes.
It is an issue now, and that is what we're trying to resolve, to put some kind of a classroom close with some kind of a dressing area, so the students who come in, before they go and weld, they get into some new clothing to protect themselves while they're welding. So those would be attached, but it's not shown, because it's more likely than not going to be some kind of a metal building construction that would be more appropriate to what someone would have out on their farm or ranch property.
We'll add, as we talk about these options, we can add that when we come next time and show kind of what that could look like in 3D.
Would that also be like the new culinary lab? A classroom within it? Like the Cosmic, I don't know, I'm sure you guys.
So the culinary space would be a lab lecture combo. So you would actually be learning within the space, instead of
Right now.
Okay.
having a separate classroom and then walk to the lab. It would all happen. And we'll show some photos of,
2 of those in the program.
yeah.
Great.
Is what you're asking us to do now is to narrow down between these three?
Essentially, we want you to decide, which is your favorite? The western entry option, the eastern entry option, or the southern entry option? Yeah.
Yes.
So the Avenue F entry, Avenue F was, I don't know if that's y'all discussed drainage and all that, but when we get it down for, we move cars.
So that would be part of their site preparation plan.
All right. So this is option 1. This is the western side. This is the new entry on the west. And that's what it would look like in 3D.
So, my opinion on this is that there's a.
Can we all get,
Yeah, my individual opinion, which doesn't matter any more than anybody in here, but there's two of these that I like better than the other. I like the one that faces the parking lot. I think it presents well you can present to Norris Street, which is the traditional part, front of the high school, through the parking lot, kind of like we do already. It also gives you a wider berth, I guess, on the parking lot front to build a nice looking front. It seems like it's less disruptive, while they do say, hey, look, building a high school in the middle of a high school is gonna be disruptive anyway. I think it presents pretty well like that. It looks like it's not haphazardly, put together. I like this one better. I also like the one that presents to Avenue F. I think the drawback on Avenue F is that Avenue F is a residential street.
It's not made for.
And it's not made for that much traffic, and it also brings in, like you said, Pecan Street is not a major thoroughfare in this town like Norris is, and I think it might be better to face the parking lot, and the parking lot's gonna be less crowded because you have these extra parking areas. That's my question.
Or we need to work with the city to be able to develop some kind of plan to work while we're doing this from time, because we will need additional.
One question over here. One here.
In option one, it's clear that the current A building and the new construction butt up and there's no exterior corridor needed. For the other two options, there's still, it appears there's still exterior corridors needed. Would those be closed in so that our kids aren't outside, or would those be open air corridors?
No, that's what we talked about earlier. The outboard sides of the covered canopies would be enclosed.
Okay.
Or could be enclosed.
She's just asking, I think, if we're gonna condition that space. In other words, is it gonna be heated and cooled, or is it just gonna
Well,
be covered and
my
screened?
concern as a parent is it's still gonna flood. Are my kids gonna have to pack extra shoes to school? Because that's what they do right now on rainy days, because they
Yeah.
know their shoes are gonna get wet.
Right. Well, I think in this case, we'll have an opportunity to correct a lot of drainage issues that you've got there. Mr. Callahan took me, in fact, it was raining the day I was out there, and took me to one of those area drains that
Yes,
you guys.
and
have trouble
safety. I would prefer them be in an enclosed area, just for
Yeah,
safety.
and go back to option one.
I had a suggestion back here that was pretty good. Is that would it be smart to take a vote now and see which two are left?
Where we're at.
I mean, there may be.
That was the slide we were almost to. I said, do we want to talk about it, or do we all want to vote? Yeah.
That's exactly where we're.
Yeah.
I just have one, like,
So I do want to talk about this a little bit, and one of the cons for this one was,
Brandon ask this
just
question?
real quick,
Yeah.
it's not really, I don't think there was much consideration. I know we're trying to make this safe, and I've brought it up many times before. If you come at lunchtime, there are very few kids, no one's in the cafeteria, they're out and about. The one thing that's neat about our campus is the kids have they get to breathe some fresh air.
Yeah.
It's a concern with some of the plans with where the cafeteria is located, that may not be, if that's gonna be the exterior, close to exterior, it's gonna be walled off, there's not gonna be a way to access. I mean, some of these kids that's gonna be their only time, if they're stuck inside all day to get some fresh air.
Well, you can look at this one right here. This is the west facing entrance. You can see that to keep it contiguous, to keep everybody enclosed, there is a nice, and I know there's one of Nico's plans is to turn that little area that has part of the EC into a nice little outdoor area that people could go to from the cafeteria.
Some of the other ones didn't write.
yeah, so I mean,
That's been a common thing. We've just done this in 2 or 3 other places where there's an outdoor, basically right out of the cafeteria, there's an outdoor
Yeah, and-
area. Still can have some covered benches and things like that, but.
we did that in Permian recently, but this whole space right here could be, semi-enclosed, and this could be another outdoor courtyard.
That's your truck.
This area right here could be an outdoor courtyard. There's lots of different options, but like I said, these haven't been, we can do whatever, and these conversations are gonna,
That has been taken into.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Outdoor
Well, and I would like to just share before we get to Stephanie's question. Although this might look like a small amount of work, I can assure you, over the past 3 weeks, these guys are sick and tired of our Zoom calls and our phone calls and our conference calls. We spent 6 hours this weekend on this, trying to make sure that we were able to answer everything. So what we're trying to get to is, what do you want? So that we can then go back and redo more of it and become more specific, and what will it cost us? So we're not trying to rush you through it, but we do need to come to some kind of an agreement for us to be able to get into the detail that you're asking now. Stephanie?
So in my opinion, on this campus, green space is so important. Walking in and out, not necessarily on bad days, but fresh air is amazing. I like this option in that where you've got the library and the cafeteria, and if you turn that space just to the north of it, into green space for the students, is that going to have all the windows there that would look out into that space as well, like from the library and from the cafeteria?
One of the things I was going to mention about this one is that just from a constructability standpoint, you can't physically attach to a building by code without doing a fire separation wall. And this would be a direct complication all the way around on 3-4 sides here. And this is a 2-story volume space. And so the second stories would be looking out onto the rooftops of a 1-story space or a 1.5-story space. All the windows that are on these classrooms, that wall are all going to be gone. So you're going to have a bunch of classrooms with no windows. So that physical attachment, it does create some challenges. It makes it difficult to build, and it does take away some of your indoor, instructional capacities.
So we have one question here, and then I think we can do our slide and kind of screen some of these options out.
Well, mine's not really a question. Mine is more of a comment. The one thing that I like about this particular one over the others is that the library can stay until they're through with the new construction, because otherwise it was taking out the library during construction because they were going to be using that space. Whereas, because this way the kids still have access to the library, because they're going to need that with projects and things. So I like this because that library is still available to them until construction.
So let's be clear, Jana, the classrooms are not in use.
Correct, they're not in use right now.
The C building classrooms.
Yeah, all the ones along the north side of this building are vacant.
So, like, nothing's in stone, like, could you flip where the library and like
Yes,
dance and
all
band
of
and
all of
stuff,
those
all
things
that?
can be, we're trying to get to which basing do you want?
Which way?
Getting all these other questions.
Yeah, we can start getting to that as we go through today, but we need to determine which direction do we want our building to face.
Why is it not starting?
Yes, sir.
Not to go against what James said, but everybody needs to remember that West Norris Street was constructed for traffic.
You're on the hot spot.
Remember that. I'll get on mine. If you're worried about traffic, West Norris Street, that's the purpose of it. And I think that the city council has approved a bond that will go ahead and finish that at the 5 point.
I think they're bringing up your voting buttons right now.
Yeah, it was right in my hot spot, and I looked over there, it's on bright red, like down to 0. So there we go.
Yes, in your phones?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can we just vote by hand? Are we gonna get shot if we vote?
I think some people might look at this just like the election from last week, they would prefer to do it anonymously.
Oh, my God.
All right, so it's minty.com, and the code is at the top. If you can't read it, we'll scream it out to you.
So are you going to go back to option 3 because y'all started with option 1, with option 2, and then like to get a picture of option 3 so that we can look at them to decide to vote how to vote?
This is the option 3 on the south, is that the one you're?
This is the one where the entrance is on.
Yeah, this is the one where the entrance is.
All right, so option 1 is the western one that faces the parking lot. That's the first one we talked about. Option 2 is the east along Avenue F with the entry along Avenue F. Option 3 is the south. That's along Norris.
Okay.
So option 1 is west, option 2 is east, option 3 is south.
So are there some people out there who did not vote?
I don't have my phone.
So you didn't vote?
I did not vote.
You want to write it down on a piece of paper and we'll...
I want option 3, just as long as, if y'all want to shoot me, turn around and pull the trigger.
So
All right, so-
one more for option 1 and one more for option 3.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Is there anyone else that,
unless somebody's voting twice, I think we got a clear-cut winner here.
that's 40 people, so we're pretty close to. So 2 more for option 1 and 1 more for option 3. Does everybody feel like they've had an opportunity to express their? Okay.
If you
All right.
choose option 1,
Yes, sir.
how far will you have to move the students away to have the parking availability for the administration building? I mean, as far as for being able to come into the front part of the school and
Presently, right now, unless it's pep rally Friday morning, the parking lot, just north of the ad building and the next set of parking spaces is not filled at all. Really, the only part of the parking lot that gets filled is the parking lot close to the gate. So when you come in off of Avenue I, it's going to be everything to the east of Avenue I, and everything to the west is those kids who like to run out and jump in the truck and peel out of.
Or the ones that want to stay out there to the last minute to the tardy buildings. They were.
Okay, well, that gives us good, so let's look at, real quickly at what happened with the renovation of the A building.
So for when Mr. Callahan started to talk about feasibility of moving the CTE programs out of the new addition and into the A building, I thought, well, that is one of the best ways you could save some money.
What is CTE?
Career and technical education.
Sorry, we're speaking our K-12 language.
Thank you for stopping him.
So yeah, CTE is career and technical education. Those spaces for new construction are generally more expensive than traditional academic spaces. They've got more nuances, they've got more equipment, they've got specialty power and data requirements, all these different things. They're plumbing heavy, they're mechanical heavy, they're electrical heavy. So anything we can do to put that into an existing building is going to help. When we started to analyze the existing footprint and the existing layout of these spaces, I was very surprised that it was almost like it was designed for a CTE building without knowing it. Everything in here laid out really, really well, just like a glove. So what we're talking about here, first floor, health science and technology is going to be on the western side. We've got a couple of flex spaces, and then we've got our ag heavy floral design and horticulture classes with their associated classrooms across the hall, and then art kind of stays where it is. There was the original construction had that as a kiln room and storage, and all these are going to be very, very generously sized, nearly 1,500 square feet apiece for the ag labs, and then we've got health sciences at 1,400, and we've started to kind of lay this out of what it could be. I did this very, very late Saturday night, and I was having some fun, so I took it a little farther than I probably should have. But anyway, this is what the first floor would look like, and then our second floor.
And what's exciting is that, I mean, on the west side, it's right, I mean, there's a way to showcase that program, the health science and technology program, which I'm really excited about.
And so we've got cosmetology on the western side, second floor. Very, very generous lab. Essentially, it's that whole western piece there. 2 dedicated classrooms. This can be reconfigured however. This was just a diagrammatic way of showing it. And then we've got languages other than English, credit recovery. These are more of your kind of elective. Thank you. I couldn't think of that word. And then the AV. And again, we've got flex. The gray areas are just support spaces, restrooms, workrooms. There's some conference rooms and things sprinkled throughout, but it laid out extremely, extremely well. So, and again, we're not married to this. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it could look like. We're going to have, if this is a direction that you guys want to head, we'll have conversations with each one of these instructors and teachers and work this out a little bit better.
Pictures of other spaces that you can kind of see the quality that we're trying to capture in the budget. I might go on to the next one, Nico. That's an 80 graphics lab at the top. This is what some pathways look like. Very similar to that one in the top right where there was a wall. And they made 2 spaces out very similar to what we were talking about. So there's lots of opportunity, and it's great because the great thing you were asking about career and technical education is the number of certifications they get, just like the certifications they get with Skills USA and things like that. That's what's really exciting about some of these spaces and pathways. This is another 80 graphics pathway, so different ways to approach it. I know we were promising to try to get you guys, we said about an hour, and we're within 4 minutes of that. I wanted to just touch on I think what Mr. Callahan's email, if you didn't get a chance to look at that, we kind of broken the high school budget out into 3 areas. And since we've talked, we've also had a chance to visit even more with area contractors who work in Sarah. We've vetted these numbers with them as well. And so new construction that we talked about in the first part where we were deciding which way we'd like to face the building, that's that $38,850. And then the renovation of the A building is the $8,875,000. And then the renovation and addition of the shop area, the $4.3 million. all adds up to about 52 million. So I think you can see that we put emphasis on each of those areas, and I think it could be a really nice, and will be a really nice project. So that's basically how we break down the numbers, the dollars. So
That includes new construction,
yes.
it includes renovated construction, and it includes all soft costs.
Yes.
So that is a total all-in.
That's a wrapped up with a bow on it.
Demo is in there.
Yes.
Demo is in
Demo-
there.
Demolition, so
Those
we've
are
got,
the soft costs.
yeah, so we got fixed furniture and equipment, there's also, there's a utility allowance, and there's also a site work allowance, and that's where we got the demo money plus the parking area money. Yeah. Thank you for asking, James.
How much is contingency? Is that in there too?
There is a contingency. There's a design contingency and then a traditional unforeseen gremlin contingency is what I call
Between 3
it.
and 5%
Yeah.
is for the construction contingency for those things you're gonna find. If you know, when you open up a wall, you're gonna find something interesting. Or it can be.
Usually comes in higher than anticipated.
Hopefully not a body. So what's that?
I said bids usually come in higher than anticipated.
We hope that that doesn't happen, so we've tried to account for, that's why I'll say one of the things that helps us a lot is doing that. And I really appreciate Mr. Callahan and his staff, and I appreciate the exercise. I know that the exercise we did last time really helps us visualize the program when we get the comments that you guys make. But doing the program is one of the most helpful things to us, so we're not missing a space. And your question earlier about making sure we have enough room for, that we're not turning around and then we don't have enough room for additional kids. That space program is why we spend so much time on that, why we do some of these exercises, so that we try to get the answer multiple ways so that we're accounting at least for the space and getting the drawings and things like that to where we can look at the existing utilities.
And we have a small design contingency in there as well, because it's inevitable when we have those conversations with the interdepartment meetings and things like that. We review our program and they say, oh, we don't have a whatever classroom or some specialty thing.
Pedicure room or something.
Yeah, so we've got just a tiny amount to accommodate for that too. So are there any other questions, just general?
I think that we're still working on a date, I think, for the next meeting, correct?
That's what we'll talk about here in just a
Oh,
second.
sorry.
Nope.
So next meeting, we would like to, now that we've got, I feel like we've developed a consensus. There was a clear winner that received more than 51% of the vote. So we're going to start to develop a more defined version of concept one, which is the west facing. We'll start to evolve that and develop that a little bit more and hopefully have some more to show you. But for the next meeting, we're going to take what we've talked about today and how that affects the elementary options and the budget over there.
Well, just to kind of spin off of what the mayor talked about earlier, which is we feel that those costs we just gave you have been vetted by 5 local contractors. Unlike what happens frequently, in my world, based upon these original costs they gave us their penciled version. When it comes to bidding the jobs, I think they come back with their sharpened pencil expectations. So I want to make sure that we feel that these costs, as it stands right now, are as accurate as we can give a group of 50 people without having specificity. So if you think the next time we come, I have incorporated our bond counsel to be here, and the 3 dates that are best for him are Monday the 9th, Monday the 16th, or Tuesday the 17th. Now, I will tell you, we've done Mondays and we've done Wednesdays. I can tell you that Wednesday the 17th at 5 o'clock could only work if the board tells me that we're gonna move our board meeting that night to a little bit later.
17th is a Tuesday.
Okay, 17th Tuesday, okay, good, I don't have to worry about you guys then.
Well, you do.
We're here.
So those are the 3 dates, 9, 16, 17. December. 16th is a Monday, and the 17th is a Tuesday.
I know,
Earlier is better.
we'll coordinate and do a Minty vote for the available dates next time.
I say the ninth is right in front of us.
At 9th, raise your hand.
Are we voting?
Science lecture.
Yeah, that's 51% right there.
That's more than 51%.
Yeah.
And I typically go with 66% as consensus, and that was well over 66%.
Right, we're doing 5 o'clock again?
You tell me when I have, and that's when I'm here.
Science lecture hall, 5 PM.
Science lecture hall, 5 PM, Monday, December 9th.
Promise us another hour.
We will keep it to an hour.
We did pretty good.